What is good, cloudy people, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bobbalam with another Netflix original of a video. The last part in the docu-series of certified cappers centered around a fake Playboy Cardi producer, young Hurricapper. And coincidentally, in today's video, we will be discussing another one of Playboy Cardi's affiliates, or at least some point in the past, because their friendship has been kinda shady for the past couple of years. But Ian Capper, aka Ian Connor, who you may or may not know from his multiple lucrative brands called Revenge Storm, and his more recent one that inspired Playboy Cardi and Drake's latest collab called Born From Pain Sicko. I'm not big into streetwear like that though, so bear with me if I mix up a few words. By the way, I won't be featuring any comments in this video due to the severity of the topic. Don't really want to be joking around too much with such a sensitive issue, but don't worry, next video will definitely feature one of y'all comedians. But back to the brief bio of Ian Connor. A simple Google search will essentially tell you he has been a successful fashion icon since his teens, by which he used to be Wiz Khalifa and Kylie Jenner's stylist at one point or another, even becoming a creative consultant for Kanye's Yeezy brand as well as Off-White with Virgil. He was also apparently the first ever artist slash creative signed to A$AP Rocky's creative collective OG. Basically, for a while he earned the rep of King of the Youth, and kinda any brand or person he was affiliated with turned into gold, including our beloved Playboy Cardi, who received a huge spike in relevance by being affiliated with Ian Connor. Now that we are all caught up to speed on the subject of the video's accomplishments and accolades that the general public knows him for, we can now discuss the newest trend on Twitter of over 40 allegations from young black women accusing him of rape. Slight disclaimer, I am not claiming in any way that any of the stories told in this video are fact. I am simply communicating what is already presented online and adding context. Please remember, these are all allegations and no criminal charges have been indicted upon Ian Connor as of today at least. Okay, so I have known about the Ian Connor sexual assault slash rape allegations for a while now. However, the topic has recently come up again to haunt him due to more young women revealing their experiences with him on social media. As I mentioned in the intro, at this point in time, the allegations sum to more than 40 young women, according to a Twitter page at Ian Connor Daily 1 that has documented the updates in the Me Too movement against him since mid-May 2020. During this time frame, the Twitter account has accused Ian Connor of a slew of criminal offenses and attacks at his character, including Ian attempting to pay off victims to remain silent, sending death threats to women who don't want to have sex with him, sexually harassing underage women, specifically a 14-year-old, having sex with a man in the past, as well as just being a serial rapist overall. The account has also posted various old tweets relating to Ian's alleged history of sexual assault, such as, "I want to f her but she only 15. She said she was 18 but then I found out she added 4 years to her age. Luckily I found out just in time. Luckily I didn't." Whoa. In addition to, it ain't easy being Ian Connor, just like it ain't easy slipping off a too small condom in the middle of sex without her knowing. It's not rape on April Fool's Day. If I eat you out or buy you something, you have no choice but to f me. I'm as serious as can be with this one, as well as harassing a girl publicly on Twitter and another in private DMs. Apparently, Ian Connor has also threatened this page after all the accusations responding to the page when they said, "You still a rapist and you should not be free," wherein he replied, "But I'm free and rich," causing his followers to question if he actually participated in the allegations, given he didn't even refute the claim whatsoever. He continued, "Or we done, because mark my words, you better enjoy this convo before it gets ugly for you, and I promise it will. This the internet, anybody can be found, and I knew you'd screenshot this convo. I just baited you, dummy, no matter how you try to soundbite it, because when it's my turn, I'm gonna expose your character without even screenshotting your name. Ha 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 ha, I'm actually a genius." Already, without hearing any of the young women's stories, the evidence is seeming to stack against him for the simple fact of how he is reacting to the claims. If he simply denied and assured his fans none of it is true, people probably would have been more open to his side of the story. However, when threats and past tweets that correlate with his allegations surface, the average person begins to believe he is guilty. For if there's nothing to hide, why get so defensive? But on the other hand, keep in mind, no concrete evidence has been presented to prove at all that the allegations are true, so Ian Connor is still innocent until proven guilty. On April 8, 2016, Ian Connor received his first accusation of rape from a young woman at the time, 23 years old, named Malika Anderson, in that she posted on her own personal blog that has since been taken down, titled, "Ian Connor is a rapist and I know firsthand." In this post, she alleged that almost 2 years prior, on October 5th of 2014, after a series of messages and meetings, Ian Connor raped her in her own home. She explained that she spent time with Ian Connor on 3 separate occasions, the first being in May 2014, where she explicitly told Complex he would get in touch with me when he was coming to Atlanta, but he would also get in touch with me sometimes when he was traveling. He offered to fly me out to LA before, but I declined. The first 2 encounters were platonic. He definitely tried to kiss me and I would tell him I didn't want to do that. The first 2 times we hung out, he would back off after that. The first time we hung out, we went to a party, so we weren't even alone. And then the second time we hung out at the apartment at Claremont. We just laid in bed for a few hours, but we didn't do anything. It was late. We didn't do anything sexual. We got along, she says. He would always tell me that I was pretty. Oh, you're so different, because I didn't want to have sex with him and stuff like that. However, on the 3rd meetup, October 5th, 2014, the sexual assault occurred wherein she stated, "He came to my crib in the morning and I figured he would just talk and chill per usual, but that isn't what happened. We were sitting on my bed just talking and he asked if he could eat me out. I declined and I told him I wasn't trying to have sex, so he's like, okay. Then he asked again if he could eat me out. I said no again and he just kept asking. He was literally begging to eat me out and he said, we don't gotta fuck, I just want to eat it. I want to eat your soul out, girl, blah blah. And I was like, nah, I'm good, but he kept begging. Eventually I gave in. I said, fine, you can give me head. Then he said, let me eat it from the back. So I laid on my stomach and pulled my pants down about halfway. The rest of my clothes were still on. He was fully clothed. He started to give me head. About 2 minutes later, I felt his bare thrust inside of me. Over a year after the blog post on December 3rd, 2015, Malika tweeted something referring to Ian as a serial rapist. In that same very day, she received a series of messages on Twitter from the username @FreeSpiritJusty, which she believed to be his Twitter burner account that he was attempting to get her phone number through. The supposed burner account firstly mentioned her in a tweet saying, DM, I have info for you, which she promptly asked them via DM, info for me, and they replied, no funny nor suspicious but what's your number? To which she replies, nah, tell me the info here. I'll have to call you with what I'm about to say, and what is it about, and who are you? SMH, you'll regret not hearing me out. To which again she replies, who are you? You can easily block my number if you think it's a joke or something not worth hearing. I'm keeping my identity safe due to certain circumstances. She again says, you can also answer my question about what it pertains to. But it's either you hear me out or not. SMH, I will not run in circles. Just don't let regret hit you due to poor choices. What? And the account finishes the conversation by saying, you can send number whenever you're ready. Good night. I don't know about y'all, but the DMs look pretty spooky, and if they do pertain to Ian Connor and it was truly him behind the account, again, blackmail or threats or whatever he was trying to be accomplished by retrieving her number only makes him look more guilty. But as I keep saying, there's no proof that was Ian behind the account whatsoever, and the allegations so far. Malika said the messages from the burner account prompted her to file a police report in December 2015, and according to the police, they were able to make contact with Ian Connor over the phone once using a number she provided, but then they tried to call Ian again to ask him about coming in for question, but when they called the number again, it had been disconnected, so they concluded he either blocked it or changed his number. Afterwards, she claims the detective said they couldn't legally call him in for questioning without substantial evidence, which she did not have over a year later since the incident. Nonetheless, her story gained some traction on Twitter with the hashtag #IStandWithMalika trend, but as with every trend, it received much opposition, especially when one of her old tweets surfaced. I think I'm done with the hoe life too, cause none of these dudes deserve my I just want their money. I'm into scams now, causing many Ian Connor fans to believe she was lying the entire time for clout or money. Additionally, Ian Connor's friend Ivan Splash supported him publicly in a series of tweets telling his version of the story, by which he was actually in Malika's apartment when the incident occurred, a detail she left out of her side of the story. Ivan Splash explained that Ian had a layover in Atlanta that morning and I scooped and we went to eat. Then he got a text and we off to this girl's apartment. We pull up and she greets us. I introduce myself or whatever and we in the living room until they go into her room. I'm chilling outside it. 30 minutes goes by or so and they come out laughing about something. Definitely had sex, but I don't know. How could you get raped and laugh after? Then her roommate comes out and we all introduced ourselves and she dipped to class. Then I'm telling Ian we gotta dip back to the airport. So now it's looking like Ian is a little less guilty than we thought, given he actually had a witness, whereas the witness she referred to in her story wasn't actually in the apartment at the time. Unfortunately though, with Malika publicizing her story attracted many other women to do the same, including Jean Doe, or however you pronounce that, an aspiring R&B artist, to come forward whether any of the allegations were true or not. Jean Doe published her alleged experience with Ian Connor the day after Malika in order to support her evidence and hopefully gain enough traction for the police report to continue investigation. However, in Jean's case, her blog post remains online to this day, in which she explained that she actually physically met with Malika, the previous story subject, and exchanged stories, in the end concluding Ian was in fact a serial rapist, a sociopath with an MO, having a victim type, and a method. Her website included a bit of extraneous details, but to summarize, she claimed that she was assaulted in 2013 in New York. She had originally known Ian Connor through Instagram DMs, wherein he asked for her number. After attempting to meet up a couple times in Chicago and Jersey, they finally scheduled to meet in Soho, where Jean waited in a Burger King for about a half hour with no answer, so she went home. On her way home though, Ian called explaining why he was late, and that A$AP Rocky was in Canada for the OVO Fest and left him in charge of styling a shoot that got ugly when the rest of A$AP Mob didn't want to work with him on it. He sounded distraught and claimed they beat him up. He said he needed a friend and begged me to come back. She felt bad, so she met him, where she said his eye seemed swollen. He said he had a place they could crash till the morning and then go shopping that ended up being, quote, a whorehouse that he paid roughly $90 for. Allegedly, he attempted to kiss her, but she said no and went to sleep, to wake up later to find Ian going down on her. She then turned on her stomach and asked him to stop, but he inserted into her. She continued with many more graphic details, but I'll let her story do the talking if you wish to read on further. Afterwards, Ian allegedly harassed her for weeks by call and texting her, causing her to have to switch cell numbers 3 times. A couple months later, in June of 2016, 4 more victims came out to the press, one of them only 16 years old. Ian Connor denied all 6 at the time allegations, even responding to the first 2 directly via Twitter, posting a series of statements in early to mid-April over a several-day period where he essentially deflected it as simply past women he's been with reflecting their own self-esteem within false allegations. More specifically, Ian tweeted, "Ain't no coincidence I make my first big magazine cover for a to make up allegations for her own self-esteem purposes. Swear this is my karma for finessing every I come across just to mentally prove a point. LMAO, the universe is paying me back. The truth will never matter if the lie is more entertaining, it seems. But fuel to fire, your hate doesn't stop me from making 5-digit numbers a month, nor does it stop my influence in this world. Kudos to you and whoever for lying for attention and even succeeding, but my name will outlive you and your ill attentions, I promise. I, Ian Connor, am not a rapist, nor do I condone rape in any shape or form. I don't respect liars nor forced situations. Please be real." Additionally, in an interview with Broadly, he claimed he would never rape anyone, then explained his reasoning behind his insensitive tweets we discussed earlier regarding sexual abuse among other related topics, with "I'm not excusing those tweets, but they are from a long time ago. At the end of the day, how many rappers rap about killing people or selling drugs but have never even picked up a pistol or seen crack in real life? It's for retweets, for attention, and that's back when I was younger, before I had a platform. It was just stupid." Then when asked how he responds to the allegations against him by the 7 women at this time, Connor says, "I do not condone rape and I have never raped anyone. Why force somebody to do something they don't want to do? Any forced situation is not cool." The allegations kind of died out for a few years, allowing him to grow his own wildly successful brands and creations. However, one reporter in early 2019 instigated the allegations once again by tweeting, "Did Ian Connor face literally any consequences? I feel like I still see him in the background of Virgil's Instagrams." To which he responds, "If the consequences were more money, more power, and a clearer headspace, then yes, I did face the consequences," summarizing his successful career and signifying the allegations were either false or had no grounds. In fact, yesterday when the allegations racked up to 40 and counting, he tweeted, "500K this month, find a way to cancel me and get half spread out of it." Prior to this section in the video, we have listed only allegations, thus nothing has been proven true or false. However, one thing or person, shall I say, that much of social media has gravitated towards is Rubi Rose. For if you didn't know, Ian Connor allegedly dated Rubi Rose while he was 21 years old or so, while she was only 15, which is below Georgia's age of consent of 16 that we learned last video with Lil Keed. In fact, Rubi Rose even addresses her time of being in a relationship with Ian Connor in her DJ Vlad interview, contrary to what you would think given such severe accusations, on his side claiming the girls were lying.
Of course.
Okay, did you guys speak about that?
Like it was like not even, like of course we spoke on it, but like it was nothing to even discuss, like.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that?
Bitches will say anything for attention. Like, I don't know, like there's certain ways to go about shit, but all the girls who came out about it, like, did it way too extra and like dropped a book, or just like, I feel like it was planned. But if it did happen, then I've been in certain situations that are similar to that, where I feel bad for the girls and if that really happened. But like the way most of the girls came out and knowing him in real life, I don't believe that such things could happen.
However, as we just discussed, she was a victim herself, whether she wants to believe it or not when referring to her age. Other rappers were exposed in this exact interview by Rubi Rose as well, but we'll leave that for another video. Proof of their relationship remains online with pictures of the two in the bathroom partially nude together, also indicating intimacy. And now that the allegations have surfaced to seemingly its peak recently with the 40+ young women, Rubi finally answers to all the women calling her out for labeling the victims as liars, tweeting but deleting soon after, "I really been through some shit. I came out about things before and not only did no one listen to me, but people said I deserved the shit and took the man's side. I keep my mouth shut now. It is what it is. Y'all don't even know the half." Later on, she left up a tweet stating, "To all the girls that have been taken advantage of, I'm sorry for real. I know how it is to have no one listen to you or believe you," causing her fans to believe that she was in fact taken advantage of, and at the time of the interview either didn't want to speak on it or that she was convinced that she wasn't being groomed at all. Lastly, another video that has recently surfaced is a video apparently filmed in 2018 with Ian Connor and his girlfriend at the time that the internet has spread and utilized as evidence supporting the allegations of sexual and/or domestic abuse.
Ian, stop. Ian, stop. Y'all stop. Stop for her. Stop. No, don't. Stop. Lay down.
It be so many shits going on behind the scenes. Me and Youngster have.
However, apparently the backstory behind the clip is mostly unrelated, although the intensity of the situation may tell us something, in that his girlfriend was going crazy against him and they had a fight. At the time, she also went to jail. Ian shared this video on Twitter and said, "Hunger Games, it's been out and people wake up right now. This video has nothing to do with him raping girls. Be coherent, guys." Nonetheless, I don't think relationships between a man or woman or whatever genders are involved should ever get to that level. Again, all the allegations except for Rubi Rose are not proven, although there are a substantial amount of women who have come forward as victims. No one knows for sure what actually happened except for the parties involved, so please respect their space. This video was merely for the purpose of congregating all significant evidence of the situation that I could scavenge on the internet and allow y'all to make your own judgments based upon it. Ian Connor is still technically innocent until proven guilty and has yet to be charged. So with that, it's your boy Bobbalam signing off. If I go missing or anything, and I mean anything happens to me, you know what's good. Let me know in the comments your opinion on the situation, and if you think Ian actually did what these women are accusing him of. Make sure to like and subscribe while you're at it for the latest hip-hop news and analysis videos, as well as to follow me on all my socials in the description if you with it. Peace out, cutty people. Know what I'm saying?